And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's been on our show. His sunglasses are not rocked outside. As we all know, Corey Hart knows all about that. Ladies and gentlemen, the one.
Is he in bed?
I don't know where he is. It looks like he's in his car. Is he?
No, I mean, it's the one quiet place they got in the house.
Oh, so he's hanging out in his bed. He's hanging out in his bed, ladies and gentlemen. I like to hang out in my bed. If I could do an interview in my bed and do a show in my bed, I might as well do that. But ladies and gentlemen, he's the one and only Brewers, ex-Brewer, ex-Mariner, ex-Pirate outfielder, the one sunglass himself. He's not wearing sunglasses in his bed right now, enjoying himself, watching television, and probably watching the Brewers play and hopefully lose, the one and only Corey Hart. Corey, what's up, man?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
I'm good, man. I mean, you look good. But hey, we all remember you, man. And I don't know if people mistaken you from, the old song, I wear my sunglasses at night. Remember that song? Remember the 90s?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Hey, a classic, right?
What? I'm sorry. That's a classic. Of course it's a classic.
That's
Corey
a
Hart.
classic, right?
Yeah, of course. Corey Hart sang it. So maybe they mistaken you from that.
I don't know. That's a far cry.
Oh, well, you want me to cry? I don't think you want to see me cry. I don't cry too much on this show. I actually make people cry. And I'm not going to do that tonight because I want you to be happy and you're in your bed.
I'm in bed. I live on a farm, dude. It's my one quiet spot in the house.
All right, so you don't want me to cry. You don't want me to make you cry. Are you afraid of...
You can cry.
All right. Could I make you cry about horror movies? You like horror movies?
I do.
All right, what's your favorite horror movie, if you like horror movies? This is how I'm going to judge you.
I'm a Scream fan.
Scream? That's your horror movie?
I like the original Scream.
Oh, stop. Corey, I asked you what your favorite horror movie is, and you said Scream? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, I'm a teenage girl at heart, man.
Teenage... I mean, the best part of that movie was Drew Barrymore in the beginning. That was about it. That was the best part of the movie. I knew it was going to happen before it happened. Yeah, come on. Corey, I'm lost now. We talk about horror movies and you give me Scream. Give me another one. What's your second favorite horror movie?
Me? I mean, I like the Insidious movies. I like the Conjurings.
All right. I like that.
So, I mean, I guess, the ones that outside of my teenage growing, I watched the original, Nightmare on Elm Street all the time.
Oh, Nightmare. Now you're talking. I love Freddy Krueger. One Halloween, I don't dress up, but I love Freddy so much because I love scaring people when they're sleeping. And he's like Nightmare on Elm Street in your dreams, kills you in your dreams. That my friends is my favorite killer when it comes to Jason and all those idiots, running around with their knives and their axes and their whatever they are. Anyways, let's get off horror movies because I don't want to scare anybody. Some of the kids, they're probably in bed right now hanging out with Corey. That's what we should call this segment, hanging out with Corey. Corey, obviously the Brewers are as hot as they ever been. I mean, they're hitting, they're pitching, they're driving on all cylinders. Are you surprised with a new manager over the last year and a half, 2 years, and with some of the young players that they have right now in their lineup, are you surprised that this team is as red hot as it's been?
I mean, yeah, yes and no. I'm around the guys, throughout the years, kind of throughout. They their farm systems, their player development guys do such a good job of trying to create, instead of trying to create these huge power guys, they've done a really good job of trying to create contact hitters, speed guys, and that's kind of been their draft. And you see these guys go through the minor leagues pretty fast, and of course they got up and they adjusted like crazy. Man, these guys are super athletic, and I mean the slow start was kind of not really surprising. You kind of expect it with some of these guys trying to find their footing, I guess. But I mean, once they got going, once they got any kind of taste of confidence, you felt like they could win a ton of games.
So 𝐼𝐵𝐼 mania has really taken over since he got called up in May. He's been one of the best.
Is that what they call it?
I think that's what they called it locally, 𝐼𝐵 mania, stuff like that. Are you surprised he got off to that fast of a start the way he did? And what are your thoughts to all the popularity you're seeing now with him?
Anytime you have that small market, you always look for something that fans can attach themselves to. I mean, there's not a lot of. There's not that Prince Fielder Braun kind of situation anymore. Yelich, one of those guys that is crazy, like that marketable guy where you can kind of the Miz, you have the Miz, you can market him so well. He's that young guy that people attach themselves to. I'm surprised he's done as good as he was. I know control was kind of an issue for him. He's been pretty good. He's been pretty crazy. Adding him to that roster has been pretty amazing for those guys.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, obviously, from the pitching side, and you finished your career kind of when all this analytical BS was starting at the forefront. Like with him, like it put yourself in like a manager front office. Like with a guy like the Miz and the situation they're in right now, do you just let him go be him, or do you, like we've seen before when they shut down, like Strasburg, for example, like, oh, you're not pitching in the playoffs because innings? I personally hate it because if you're going to blow out, you're going to blow out. And if you're my dude that can help us get to where we want to go, then, I'm gonna ride it. Do you, I guess, look at the analyticals? Like I've always said, like there's a place for it, but it's not the end all that meets all. There still needs to be a little bit of feel. You guys are idiots with your sunglasses. You guys are absolutely.
No, but you were the
He didn't
first
even
one
know what you were talking about, and it's his name. But would you let him go, or would you basically like pull him in, being so young and what he's
I
doing
got
right
the
now?
bubble guts.
I'd write him out, man. I think they've done a good job of limiting like pitch count. Like, I know he was kind of banged up a little bit, but I think that was more extended than needed to be. I think the team's playing so well, they didn't have to rush him to get back. They're in such a good situation. I can't imagine they get to the postseason and limit what he's doing. Fairly young. He's not far removed from throwing 150 innings a year. That's maybe some pitch counts late September. Definitely going to be.
My son's a sophomore in college, so yeah, I know that they don't ever take a break, or they want to take a break. I mean, my son just got back down to school. They start tomorrow, so yeah, they don't stop throwing, which I think sometimes it helps, but sometimes it gets in the way where these injuries crawl up a little bit sooner than you would like. So yeah, I would run him out there too. I mean, that's a guy, if you want to be in that position, you got to have that arm out there in some way, shape, or form. So.
As everybody knows, we are talking to former Brewers and Mariners and Pirates outfielder Corey Hart. I'm wearing my sunglasses. I mean, obviously, I'm a Corey Hart fan. That was one of my favorite late 80s, early 90s songs. I actually spin it in many different ways, house-wise, hip-hop. I've put beats on top of that track. I love it, and I'm wearing my sunglasses for you, Corey. So you should be honored. You should be honored that I'm wearing wonderful sunglasses and just who you are and what you do as a former baseball player. It's interesting right now when it comes to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they're an organization that can't control Paul Skenes. Obviously, the guy goes on different podcasts. He's all over the place. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. If not, you can argue he's the best pitcher in the National League. And this guy's been on every single podcast. He doesn't look happy over there in Pittsburgh. The Pirates have been told by his agent and from many people on his side that he doesn't want to be there. What do you do with a guy that doesn't want to be there? And he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. How do you make him happy, or how do you move on from a guy like that when there's nobody, there's not a team out there that has enough to land a young, talented pitcher of Paul Skenes' talent right now in the major leagues?
If you're not going to build around him, he's never going to be happy. So his value is obviously at all-time high. So I think the Yankees are one of these big markets, the Red Sox or even the Dodgers I'm sure they can have some sort of package that would be something the Pirates want, because they need a lot more than one main pitcher to battle out in the Central.
It's crazy. You mentioned the Yankees, and the Yankees don't have a farm system. There are 5 teams that really stand out to me that could probably land a guy like Paul Skenes, but what are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up 6 top prospects? I know they're just prospects, and Jabba says they're just prospects. I understand that, but again, you're going after one of the young, dominant pitchers in baseball, and a guy that you're watching, not like being over there in Pittsburgh in one of the best stadiums in all of baseball, in front of some of the best fans in all of baseball, and he's going out there and throwing the organization under the bus, management under the bus, and does that look good for somebody of the Yankees' magnitude or the Dodgers or the Red Sox to go after, where he's just not making the organization he's playing for right now look good? To me, you can't control a player like that. Why would you want to go after a player like that?
I agree, but they're going to move him. I just don't know how what team's going to pony up everything they want. I mean, I think you look It's happened before. You have kind of outspoken guys that don't want to be somewhere. I mean, maybe he's doing it wrong, but I mean, he's too good. And one of these teams are going to give up a lot for him. And it doesn't have to be prospects. It could be big league guys right now. I mean, if you have kind of early arbitration guys, I'm sure the Yankees have a couple, 1, 2, 3 guys that are on the roster right now that have a few years left that the Pirates would want.
Is it Anthony Volpe?
Errol will settle the trade.
Have him.
Errol will settle the trade around 𝐤𝐻𝐫𝐿, as he likes to call it.
Oh, please. 𝐤𝐻𝐫𝐿. 𝐤𝐻𝐫𝐿. I mean, he's inconclusive. I'm trying to give my words in this show, man. I've made up.
They have the Spencer guy, right? Is it Spencer Jones? Is that his name?
Spencer Jones. But
not that they would get rid of him, but that's the kind of guy it's going to take to get Scheme. I mean, that would have to be something like that. Or even the Brewers. I mean, not the Brewers want to pay for Schemes, but they have a great system. You know, they have a couple guys in the top 10 that I'm sure the Pirates would want.
Would you trade heads up a guy like 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐫𝐿 for a Paul Skenes? Would you do something like that?
No, not at all.
Really? So you don't think 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐫𝐿 is untouchable, or even for Paul Skenes?
Just for the value. I mean, because Brewers are not they're a small market, so they couldn't afford. Or Paul's, he's gonna ask for this huge amount of money in a few years, and the Brewers obviously wouldn't be able to pay for it. Where they could control Miz for, they got 5 years left of him, and I mean he might be expensive, but you might be able to get a deal with him early on that give him, where you can kind of have that team control for a lengthy period. But Schemes would never do that. He's too. His value is too high. He's too marketable. He's too, he's kind of that face of baseball right now. So he's out of. I mean, to me, payroll. He's out of that league. He'd have to go to a big market.
Interesting.
So speaking of payroll, we've heard this debate a lot with a lot of players going after Rob Manfred for wanting to implement a salary cap, try to create parity in baseball. A lot of the players we've found have been very against it. And obviously, the MLBPA is very strong on that. What are your thoughts to that whole divide, really, the pay ceiling, the pay floor we've seen among these big and small market teams?
No, I mean, I don't think they're as a guy I played, most of the teams I played for, obviously small market, but I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, if teams want to go pay, they can go pay. I think the thing they need to do is have a floor. I think teams should be forced to pay a certain amount of money. I mean, I don't know whether it's $80 million or something like that. They should make teams like the Pirates or the A's, a smaller market team that doesn't pay a lot. They should make those guys have a certain amount of money they have to pay to get these guys where they can compete for these bigger teams.
Yeah, we seen that too. I don't remember what year it was. Corey, you might remember when I think the Marlins had just lost 106 games, and then they ended up signing Reyes and Burley because they're you have to do something. Obviously, they're getting they're getting compensated over the luxury tax for all the teams that actually do spend money. Do you think? And I don't know if you were a part of when the CBA came, if you're a representative or just went to the meetings or whatever, but do you think there'll ever be a salary cap in baseball? I mean, me personally, I don't think so, just for all the work that, the guys before us have kind of set the standard. I just don't think there ever will be.
I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be hard. I don't think the players would want it. It's one of those things where I think, again, if they would give the teams amount of money they have to spend, and then to me, I don't think you punish the bigger markets for spending money. They should spend. All these owners have a ton of money. Of course, I'm in Milwaukee, so I'm there all the time. Their owner has a crazy amount of money. I mean, he doesn't spend it because of the whatever reason, but Milwaukee's always competitive. So I think if owners really want to spend it, I think they should, and they shouldn't. Small teams shouldn't be punished, I guess, for that. But I mean, I agree they have to give a little money back to teams that don't spend as much. But I think teams have to spend money. So I think, again, the Pirates, they need to go out and have an $80 million payroll, $100 million payroll, whatever that floor might be. I don't think you punish the Dodgers for spending money. I mean, I think it's crazy that you can defer that kind of money, but but if you can get away with it, they're not breaking the rules. So maybe that might be something that's an issue because, they're able to have a crazy payroll without having a crazy payroll.
It's so interesting. And by the way, if anybody doesn't know, we are talking to former Brewers, Mariners, and Pirates outfielder Corey Hart. If you notice, I'm wearing glasses. The only reason why I'm wearing glasses because if anybody knows the Sunglass song from the late 80s and early 90s, I wear my sunglasses out night. Well, I wear my sunglasses in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, for Corey Hart, ladies and gentlemen. And as Fish has, I don't know if Corey is actually watching the screen, but Fish created some kind of interesting Polaroid. But anyways, Corey, there's so many interesting things that is going on right now in baseball. The Yankees absolutely suck. The Mets are falling right off the grid. I mean, have you ever seen a team fall flat on their ass, including a Yankees team in the second half as much as this Yankee team? And what do you think the Yankees need to do in the offseason? Do you think they need to fire Aaron Boone? Is it Aaron Boone the reason why that this team is just absolutely a joke? Or do you feel like the Yankees aren't doing enough in free agency or even developing players over the last couple of years? Where would you go, and why do you think this is happening?
Philosophy. I think you can look at maybe philosophy a little bit. They definitely live and die by the home run. And, I know they have a hitter-friendly park, but, I think if you can build a little more well-rounded, team, hitting-wise, where a little more contact's involved, but that might help situation where the situation where you don't hit a ton of home runs. You have those stretches where, you're trying to put the ball in play a little more consistently. That might help. But, they've had a ton of injuries, man. I think they're a good team. They just, if they could, if Cole stays healthy from the start, it's probably a different season. So, I don't think they're that far off.
So I wanted to ask, going back to your career, about a guy that you played with that was one of the best power hitters and Prince Fielder. Java played with him a little bit later in his career as well with Detroit. What was he like as a teammate, and what do you have a good story of him?
No, Prince was awesome, man. I was fortunate. I was with Prince from the minor leagues through the first, 4 or 5 years in the big league. So I was around him quite a bit. But no, he's just a funny, fun-loving guy, man. He's definitely a fun guy to be on your team with. And he definitely takes pressure off you as a hitter. I never had to do anything special because I had big Prince with me most of the time. So I benefited by being able to kind of skate in the background with him.
Looking at him, you wouldn't think that he's as athletic as he was. I've watched his father Cecil play for the Yankees in Detroit in the 80s, and the guy was a power hitter. And Prince really became the face of the Milwaukee Brewers for a significant amount of time. This guy, didn't he win an MVP one year?
I believe so.
He won an MVP.
He won 2 home run derbies. So.
He was unbelievable. He had an interesting swing. The guy can run. For a guy as heavy as him, I think at one I don't know his weight, but the guy was big. I think he was 6'3", 6'4", and he was almost 300 pounds. And this guy is stealing second base a couple of times. I've seen him running, getting triples. I've never seen a guy that big run the bases as well as he did. Have you seen any player of that magnitude, that big, run the way he ran, play the way he played on a baseball field?
Well, a few things. You said Prince is 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah.
No, he's like 5'11".
Oh, really?
But,
he looks bigger than that.
But that to me, that actually makes it even more impressive because he was like that 5'11" mark, and he was 280, 300 pounds. I saw him run under a 760. That dude, for his size, he was crazy athletic and he moved like crazy. And, part of that was too his energy level was pretty through the roof. And everything was full speed with that guy.
5'11", 275 pounds. When I watched him, he looked bigger than that. He played bigger than that. He really did.
Big.
He did.
And he moved like crazy, man. He was athletic as hell.
His father, and I watched his father. I remember when he was playing for Detroit, he bunted a ball and it went over. In Detroit, he hit a home run by bunting a ball. That's how strong Cecil Fielder was. And we're going to have his son, Nathan actually reached out to his son. We're going to have him on we're going to have Prince's son on the show, and he's the grandson of Cecil Fielder. It's pretty impressive to see 3 generations of talented young baseball players get a chance to play professional baseball. It's pretty incredible. Have you ever seen a baseball, as a baseball fan, a family have 3 generations or 4 generations of baseball players?
When I play with the Harrisons, that's a pretty impressive family too.
Yes.
I forgot about the
But
Harrisons.
but I got a funny Jaden story.
Okay.
Shoulder. So like him and my son were like best friends when they were kids. So I think he was staying over one of our like spring training games, and we had we had cameras everywhere. So the kids were young, so we had cameras in the kids' rooms, and we kept kind of spying on the boys. And we actually had both boys. Haven was over there too, the younger boy. But we kept kind of like my wife would kind of ring in and tell him to shut up or go to bed or turn something off. You can see Jaden had no idea we had cameras in there, and he was like probably 7, and he's like, "How the fuck are they looking at us?" I'm like, of course, you want to get mad at the kids for cussing, but I'm like, dude, that is hilarious.
Well, I will say this. You're an interesting cat. This is the first time on this show I'm wearing sunglasses. So you should be very proud to get me and draw me wearing sunglasses inside the studio. But we really appreciate the time, Corey. I definitely would love to get you on the show. Maybe we'll get you and Prince on at the same time, and we can go back and forth in trivia. Who knows a little bit more when it comes to baseball trivia? Who would you think would win when it comes to baseball trivia? You or Prince?
I mean, not to knock Prince, but I'm a baseball rat, man. I think I win a lot of that. I win a lot of trivia with baseball games.
Corey, do you know the great stat that they have they have the same amount of home runs, the two of them?
Yeah, dude, and it was pretty like similar amount of games too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it's my favorite baseball
crazy.
stat ever. That was the case.
So we need Jaden to get up there to kind of see if he can pops and grandpops.
Yeah, he hits his 319th home run, just retire on the spot.
And that's right. Fish was like the Molinas, Benji, Jose, and Yadier. But aren't they brothers? That's brothers. I mean, 3 generations: grandfather, son, and grandson. I think Benji, Jose, and Yadier.
Yeah, they were all brothers.
They were all brothers. Yeah.
So because I played against Scott and played with Jerry. But Scott's kid, Landon, is like, he's really, really good.
Really?
So he's not far behind.
I'm interested to see. That's what's so great about baseball. You see guys and sons, they grow up, they want to be their dads, and some of them, I mean, most of them don't really become what their fathers were in professional baseball or professional basketball or football. But some of them, like Ken Griffey Jr., remember him? Ken Griffey Sr. was a pretty good player, nothing like his son. One of the greatest power hitters, Vladimir Guerrero. The Guerreros, I see Fish putting the Guerrero son and father. Was the grandfather in professional baseball? I don't know. Anyways,
so.
Corey, we appreciate the time. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Corey Hart, ladies and gentlemen. Very interesting, as always. Baseball players are always interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because you get into conversation and trying to figure out who and what type of player they are. And Corey's interesting. I would love to see if he is a trivia guru. I would love to know how much trivia he really knows when it comes to baseball. That is my question, because I'm not one for trivia when it comes to I'm more of a football, basketball trivia guy. I know hockey too. Anything in the 80s, in the 70s, and the 90s, I think I'd rock people. But when it comes to the new age hockey, I think guys like Speedy or maybe even Fish would know a little bit more than I do when it comes to certain things. But trivia is the interesting thing.
We need a duel between Corey Hart and Tic Tac No champion Kevin Mensch.
That's true.